Are you tired of constantly chasing after love and relationships, only to end up feeling unfulfilled and disappointed? Maybe it's time to take a different approach. In this video, we'll explore the powerful philosophy of Stoicism and how it can help you stop chasing love and focus on becoming a stronger, more fulfilled individual. Stay tuned to discover how applying Stoic principles can transform your approach to relationships and lead to a more meaningful life. Lesson 1. Loss of self-identity. When we chase love and relationships relentlessly, we may lose sight of our own needs, desires, and goals. This can lead to compromising who we are just to please others. The loss of self-identity in the pursuit of love and relationships can manifest in various ways. We might find ourselves changing our behavior, interests, or even appearance to align better with what we believe is attractive or desirable to others. In doing so, we risk losing touch with our authentic selves and instead start mirroring the expectations set by our partners or society at large. One of the dangers of losing our self-identity in the pursuit of love is the potential for developing a sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction. When we prioritize the validation and approval of others over honoring our own values and aspirations, we start to feel a void within ourselves. This void represents the disconnect between who we truly are and the persona we have constructed to fit the mold of an ideal partner or companion. The loss of self-identity can result in a lack of fulfillment and inner peace. We may find ourselves constantly seeking external validation and reassurance from our partners, fearing that we are not enough as we are. This perpetual need for approval can lead to dependency on others for our sense of self-worth, making us vulnerable to manipulation and exploitation by those who do not have our best interests at heart. Another consequence of losing our self-identity in the pursuit of love is the erosion of self-esteem and confidence. When we prioritize the desires and expectations of others over our own needs, we gradually diminish our self-worth and self-assurance. We may begin to doubt our abilities, choices, and worthiness, leading to feelings of insecurity and inadequacy in our relationships and personal lives. When we mold ourselves to fit the expectations of others, we limit our potential for self-discovery, exploration, and progress. True personal growth stems from embracing our uniqueness, strengths, and weaknesses, and navigating life's challenges with authenticity and resilience. By forfeiting our self-identity to conform to external standards, we hinder our ability to evolve into the best versions of ourselves. To reclaim our self-identity and break free from the cycle of losing ourselves in the pursuit of love and relationships, we must embark on a journey of self-discovery and self-empowerment. This journey involves reflecting on our values, beliefs, passions, and aspirations, and aligning our actions and choices with our authentic selves. It requires us to set boundaries, assert our needs, and prioritize our well-being above the expectations of others. By reconnecting with our true selves and embracing our uniqueness, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace, fulfillment, and confidence that transcends external validation and approval. When we value and respect ourselves for who we are, we attract relationships and connections that genuinely align with our essence, bringing us joy, harmony, and growth. By honoring our true selves and staying true to our values and aspirations, we can forge meaningful connections and relationships that nurture our soul and elevate our spirit. Lesson 2. Emotional dependence. Emotional dependence refers to the reliance on someone else, typically a romantic partner, for emotional support, validation, and fulfillment. It stems from a deep-seated need for external sources to validate one's self-worth and happiness. While seeking emotional support from loved ones is natural and healthy, relying too heavily on a partner for emotional fulfillment can lead to an unhealthy dynamic that hinders personal growth and self-fulfillment. When individuals become emotionally dependent on their partners, they may lose sight of their own identity, needs, and aspirations. This can result in a loss of independence and self-worth, as their happiness becomes contingent on the actions and feelings of their partner. In such cases, the individual may feel incomplete or inadequate without constant reassurance and validation from their partner, leading to feelings of insecurity, anxiety, and fear of abandonment. Emotional dependence can also create a sense of imbalance in the relationship, where one partner bears the burden of providing emotional stability and validation to the other. This imbalance can lead to feelings of resentment, pressure, and ultimately, a strain on the relationship. The partner who is constantly relied upon for emotional support may feel overwhelmed and suffocated by the other's dependence, leading to a breakdown in communication and intimacy. Emotional dependence can hinder personal growth and self-discovery. When individuals rely solely on their partners for emotional fulfillment, they may neglect their own needs, passions, and goals. This can prevent them from developing a strong sense of self and pursuing their own interests and aspirations. As a result, they may lose touch with their own identity and become overly enmeshed in the relationship, sacrificing their individuality for the sake of emotional security. To overcome emotional dependence, it is essential to cultivate a sense of independence and self-worth that is not reliant on external validation. This involves developing a strong sense of self-awareness, self-love, and self-compassion that allows individuals to validate their own worth and find fulfillment within themselves. By recognizing and honoring their own needs, emotions, and boundaries, individuals can cultivate a healthy sense of autonomy and self-reliance that is essential for personal growth and well-being. Practicing self-care and self-compassion is crucial in breaking free from emotional dependence. This involves setting healthy boundaries, practicing self-love and self-compassion, and engaging in activities that nurture personal growth and well-being. By taking the time to prioritize their own needs and well-being, individuals can build a strong foundation of self-worth and resilience that is not contingent on external sources of validation. By expressing their needs, fears, and insecurities openly and honestly, individuals can work together with their partner to build a strong and supportive relationship based on mutual respect and understanding. Setting clear boundaries, expressing emotions openly, and practicing empathy and compassion can help create a healthy and balanced dynamic that nurtures personal growth and emotional well-being for both partners. Ultimately, overcoming emotional dependence requires a willingness to cultivate self-awareness, self-love, and independence that allows individuals to find fulfillment and happiness within themselves. By prioritizing their own well-being, setting healthy boundaries, and fostering open communication with their partner, individuals can break free from the cycle of emotional dependence and build a strong foundation of self-worth and resilience that empowers them to live authentically and joyfully. Lesson 3. Unrealistic expectations. Constantly chasing love can lead to idealizing romantic relationships and setting unrealistic expectations for ourselves and our partners. This can result in disappointment and dissatisfaction. Imagine you've been watching movies or reading books about incredible love stories since you were a child. These stories make you dream of a perfect romantic relationship where everything seems magical, effortless, and flawless. Consequently, you start to believe that this kind of love is not only possible, but also necessary for your happiness. You begin chasing an idealized version of love, setting unrealistically high expectations for yourself and your partner. In reality, constantly chasing love can lead to idealizing romantic relationships. When we idealize something, we perceive it as perfect or without flaws. When it comes to love, idealization can result in setting unrealistic expectations for ourselves and our partners. We may start expecting our partners to fulfill all our needs, make us feel complete, and never disappoint us. This mindset can be damaging because it creates an unattainable standard that real relationships often struggle to meet. One common misconception in today's society is that our partners should be our everything, our best friend, confidant, soulmate, and more. We expect them to always understand us, support us, and never let us down. This kind of thinking can put immense pressure on both parties in the relationship and can lead to a cycle of disappointment and dissatisfaction when these expectations are not met. When we constantly chase love, we may start comparing our relationships to the seemingly perfect ones we see on social media, in movies, or in stories shared by friends. This comparison further fuels our unrealistic expectations, as we believe that our relationships should mirror those portrayed in the media. We forget that real relationships involve challenges, disagreements, and compromises, elements that are often glossed over in romanticized portrayals. Unrealistic expectations in relationships can also stem from our own insecurities and past experiences. For example, if we have experienced rejection or heartbreak in the past, we may develop a fear of being hurt again. To protect ourselves from potential pain, we may set up emotional barriers and demand constant reassurance and validation from our partners. This behavior, driven by underlying fears and insecurities, can create tension and strain in the relationship. We may expect grand gestures of affection, lavish gifts, or constant declarations of love as proof of their commitment. While expressions of love are important, putting too much emphasis on external displays can overshadow the everyday acts of kindness, communication, and respect that form the foundation of a healthy relationship. When we base our self-worth and happiness on our relationship status or how our partner treats us, we become vulnerable to fluctuations in our emotional well-being. This dependence on external validation can prevent us from developing a strong sense of self and can hinder our personal growth and autonomy. By letting go of idealized notions of love and embracing the imperfections and complexities of real relationships, we can cultivate more fulfilling and authentic connections with our partners. Lesson 4. Neglecting personal growth. When we immerse ourselves entirely in the pursuit of love and relationships, it's easy to lose sight of our personal growth and development. We get so caught up in seeking validation, acceptance, and companionship from others that we forget the importance of nurturing ourselves from within. Neglecting personal growth in favor of chasing love is a common mistake that many of us make. We often place our worth and happiness in the hands of another person, hoping that their love and approval will fill the voids within us. However, this approach is fundamentally flawed. True fulfillment and self-worth come from within, from a deep sense of self-awareness, acceptance, and continual growth. Personal growth is a lifelong journey that involves self-reflection, learning, and evolving into the best version of ourselves. It requires us to examine our beliefs, values, goals, and behaviors, and to make conscious efforts to improve in areas where we fall short. When we neglect this essential aspect of our lives in favor of seeking external validation through relationships, we miss out on valuable opportunities for self-discovery and personal development. Focusing solely on love and relationships as a source of happiness and fulfillment can lead to a cycle of dependence and emotional instability. We become overly reliant on others for our sense of self-worth and happiness, which can leave us feeling lost and incomplete when the relationship falters or ends. By neglecting our personal growth, we hinder our ability to cultivate resilience, self-reliance, and emotional well-being. Neglecting personal growth in pursuit of love can also result in a lack of balance in our lives. When we prioritize romantic relationships above all else, we neglect other important aspects of our well-being, such as our mental, emotional, and physical health, our friendships, hobbies, and personal goals. This imbalance can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction, emptiness, and a sense of stagnation in our personal growth journey. To avoid neglecting personal growth in the pursuit of love, it's essential to prioritize self-care, self-awareness, and self-improvement. This involves taking the time to reflect on our values, strengths, weaknesses, and aspirations, and to set personal goals that align with our authentic selves. It also means investing time and energy in activities that support our growth and well-being, such as learning new skills, pursuing hobbies and interests, and engaging in self-care practices. By making personal growth a priority in our lives, we not only enhance our sense of self-worth and fulfillment, but also become better partners in relationships. When we take the time to cultivate self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and personal development, we are better equipped to communicate effectively, set healthy boundaries, and navigate conflicts constructively in our relationships. By prioritizing self-care, self-awareness, and self-improvement, we can cultivate a strong sense of self-worth, resilience, and emotional well-being that enhances not only our relationships but our lives as a whole. Lesson 5. Lack of fulfillment. Placing too much importance on external sources of validation like love and relationships can leave us feeling unfulfilled. True fulfillment comes from within and should not be solely dependent on others. When we place too much importance on others for validation and fulfillment, we become vulnerable to feelings of inadequacy and disappointment. We may start to believe that our worth is determined by how others see us or how much they love us. This external validation can create a fragile sense of self-worth that is easily shaken by external circumstances. It is crucial to remember that our worth and value as individuals are not determined by others, but by our own beliefs and actions. When we become overly reliant on others for fulfillment, we give away our power to control our own happiness. We place our emotional well-being in the hands of others, allowing them to hold the key to our contentment. This dependency on external sources can lead to a constant cycle of seeking validation from others, often at the cost of our own peace of mind. When we learn to cultivate these qualities within ourselves, we no longer rely on external sources to feel validated or fulfilled. We understand that our worth is inherent and does not depend on others' approval or love. Discovering inner fulfillment requires introspection and self-awareness. It involves reflecting on our values, beliefs, and passions to understand what truly brings us joy and satisfaction. By aligning our actions with our inner values and desires, we can create a life that is fulfilling and meaningful to us, regardless of external circumstances. Developing a sense of fulfillment from within empowers us to maintain emotional resilience in the face of challenges. Instead of seeking validation from others during difficult times, we can turn inward and draw strength from our own reserves of self-love and self-worth. This inner strength allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with a sense of stability and peace. It is essential to recognize that love and relationships are valuable aspects of life, but they should not be the sole sources of our fulfillment. While love and companionship can bring joy and connection, they are not the only factors that contribute to our overall well-being. We must also nurture our relationship with ourselves and find fulfillment in our own accomplishments, passions, and growth. By cultivating self-love, self-acceptance, and self-respect, we can find a sense of inner fulfillment that sustains us through the highs and lows of life.